The liberating secret of the law of least effort. Have you ever felt like you're swimming against the current? That exhausting feeling of putting all your strength, all your heart, all your energy into a goal, only to feel the entire universe resisting with an invisible but relentless force? It's like trying to push a door that clearly says pull. You get tired, you get frustrated, and you wonder what you're doing wrong. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most liberating, powerful, and, at the same time, most deeply misunderstood laws of the universe, the law of least effort. And I want you to know something right now. It has nothing to do with laziness, inaction, or resignation. It's about ancient wisdom, a cosmic dance. I promise you that by the end of this journey we'll take together, you'll understand how you can achieve more by being more and doing less. You'll learn how to use the wind to your advantage instead of desperately rowing against it. The question I want to leave hanging in the air for you is, are you truly ready to stop fighting and at last start flowing? If you feel a resounding yes inside you, give me a like to seal this intention and leave a comment telling me what brought you here today. Your energy is important. Let's begin. From a very young age, we are taught a narrative that glorifies struggle. No pain, no gain. Easy come, easy go. You have to fight for your dreams. And while these phrases are born from good intentions, they have planted a very limiting belief in our consciousness, that the value of an achievement is directly proportional to the amount of suffering and effort we invest in it. We have learned to equate effort with progress, tension with dedication, and exhaustion with success. We live with clenched fists, a tight jaw, and a heart in a constant race, believing that this is the only way to move forward. But I want you to observe nature for a moment, the supreme teacher of this law. Have you ever seen a flower struggling to bloom? Does it get stressed? Does it fight against the dirt to get out? No, it simply blooms. It responds to the light, the water, the nutrients, and unfolds into its beauty effortlessly. Have you ever seen a river fighting to reach the sea? The river doesn't clash with the rock or try to knock it down with fury. With infinite patience, it goes around it, contours it, embraces it, and continues its course. The river doesn't force its way, it finds the path of least resistance. And in that flow, without apparent effort, it is capable of eroding the most imposing mountains over time. Nature doesn't rush, and yet everything is accomplished. We are part of that same nature, even if we have forgotten it. Within you resides that same intelligence, that same ability to flow. But we have silenced it with the noise of the mind, with the shoulds, the I have tos, and the constant pressure to do, and do. We have confused action with agitation. Inspired action, the kind that is born from the soul and is aligned with the universe, is light, expansive, and creative. Agitation, on the other hand, is born from fear and the ego. It is heavy, contracted, and consumes our vital energy without giving us real results, only the illusion of being busy. Think about the last time you felt completely exhausted, mentally and physically. Were you truly creating, or were you resisting? Were you building a dream, or were you fighting a fear? Exhaustion rarely comes from passionate action, but from resistance to reality. It is the fruit of trying to control the uncontrollable, of wanting things to be different from how they are in this precise moment. It is the wear and tear of an internal civil war between what is and what your ego thinks should be. If you have also been in that invisible place, in that silent trench where you fight against yourself in the world, write in the comments, "I've been there too." Acknowledging it is the first step to getting out. So how do we start to apply this law in our lives, which seems so full of obligations and demands? The law of least effort rests on three fundamental pillars that we will explore together: acceptance, responsibility, and non-resistance. The first pillar, and perhaps the most challenging, is acceptance. Accepting is not resigning. Resignation is passive and bitter. It's saying, I can't do anything, so I give up. Acceptance, on the other hand, is active, conscious, and wise. It's looking at reality head-on, without filters, without judgment, and saying, this is what it is. This is my starting point. You can't change a situation if you don't first accept it in its entirety. You can't draw a new map if you don't know exactly where you are. Imagine you are lost in a forest and want to get to the north, but you insist you're on the east side when you're actually on the west. No matter how much effort you put into walking toward what you think is north, you will be going in the wrong direction. Acceptance is looking at the compass and saying, okay, I'm in the west. Now that I know where I am, I can plot my route to the north. Struggle, denial, the I shouldn't be here attitude is what keeps you lost. I'll tell you a little story. Once, a sculptor was asked how he was able to create such magnificent masterpieces from a simple block of marble. He replied, the sculpture is already inside the stone. I just remove the parts that don't belong. This is the essence of acceptance. Your ideal life, your peace, your purpose already exist within you. Your job isn't to add more effort and more layers of struggle, but to remove everything you are not: resistance, fear, limiting beliefs, the need for control. Acceptance is the tool that allows you to see which parts don't belong. I want to propose a small practical exercise for you right now. Think of a situation in your life that is causing you stress, one that you are resisting with all your might. It could be a job, a relationship, a health condition, a financial situation. Now close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and instead of thinking about how to change it, simply allow yourself to feel it, without judgment. Just for a moment, stop fighting. Internally or out loud, repeat, I accept this moment just as it is. I accept this situation just as it is. I stop resisting. Feel your shoulders relax, your jaw unclench. In this space of acceptance, there is no problem. There is only a situation. And from that calm, from that clarity, the right solution, the inspired action, has room to emerge. The law of least effort also manifests in the power of intuition. We have been conditioned to rely only on logic, on exhaustive analysis, on meticulous planning. However, the most fluid and effective action often comes from an inner knowing, a gut feeling that can't be explained with words. It's that feeling that tells you which path to take, who to talk to, or what project to start. Listening to and acting on this intuition, instead of forcing a decision based on fear or external pressure, is a pure way to practice least effort. The universe speaks to you through these signals, and your job is simply to listen and follow them without resistance. Think of those moments when a brilliant idea just popped into your mind while you were in the shower or walking, without you actively looking for it. Or that time you bumped into the exact person you needed to meet at the precise moment. These are not accidents. They are the synchronicity of the universe in action, guided by your internal alignment. When you stop pushing the rational mind to its limit, you allow your intuition, which operates with the wisdom of the whole, to guide you down the path of least friction and greatest result. It's an act of faith, a recognition that you don't have to know everything to get where you need to go. The second pillar is responsibility, and this is where the law gains immense power. Being responsible doesn't mean blaming yourself. Blame is one of the lowest vibrations and consumes the most energy. Being responsible means recognizing that you have the ability to respond, responsibility, to any situation. You cannot control what happens outside, but you always, always have the power to choose how you respond inside. When you stop blaming others, your boss, your partner, the economy, the government, for your internal state, you reclaim all your power. Blaming is giving away your energy. It's saying, you have control over how I feel. Responsibility is reclaiming it. It's saying, regardless of what happens, I am the sovereign of my inner state. This is least effort at its finest. It requires a monumental effort to try to change all the external people and circumstances to feel at peace. It requires minimal effort to change your internal perception and decide to feel at peace no matter what happens. A spiritual teacher once used a wonderful analogy. He said, you can try to carpet the entire world to walk without hurting your feet, or you can simply put on a pair of shoes. Trying to change the external world is carpeting the world. Taking responsibility for your inner world is putting on your shoes. Do you see the difference in energy expenditure? When you find yourself in a situation that upsets you, pause, observe your immediate impulse to blame or complain, and then ask yourself this powerful question. What can I learn from this? How can I grow through this experience? What response would give me the most peace right now? By doing this, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become the architect of your experience. You stop being a leaf carried by the wind and become the tree, which, although it sways, remains firmly rooted in its power. True manifestation is not about forcing the universe to give you what you want. It's about internally aligning yourself with the energy of what you already desire, and responsibility is the key to that alignment. If you're ready to stop giving away your energy and start creating your reality from within, write in the comments, I accept my power. And this leads us to the third pillar, non-resistance. This is the heart of flowing. Non-resistance is the conscious practice of letting go of the need to control outcomes. It is trusting that there is a higher intelligence, call it the universe, God, life, or consciousness, that orchestrates the entirety of existence in a way that we, with our limited perspective, cannot always understand. Resisting is like being in a small boat in the middle of a great river and trying to row upstream, back toward the past, or toward a bank that isn't your destination. It's exhausting and futile. Non-resistance is letting go of the oars, raising the sail, and allowing the river's current and the wind to carry you. This doesn't mean you stand still and do nothing. Raising the sail is an action. Adjusting it to catch the wind is an action. Steering the rudder is an action. But they are actions that work with the forces of nature, not against them. The law of least effort also invites us to question our relationship with time. Our society has imposed an obsession with speed, immediacy, and right now. We feel guilty if we're not productive every minute of the day. But nature operates in cycles. There are seasons of growth and there are seasons of rest. There are cycles of day and night. The imposition of a constant and artificial rhythm disconnects us from our own biology and leads to exhaustion. By honoring our own internal cycles, by allowing ourselves to rest when we need to, by moving with the rhythm of our energy instead of with the demands of a clock, we are applying this law. Rest is not a luxury, it is a vital component of least effort. In this flow with time, we find a deep wisdom in patience. Most significant achievements in life, from planting a garden to building a business or healing an emotional wound, don't happen overnight. They would require unsustainable effort if we tried to force them. However, when we apply least effort, trusting the process and the wisdom of life, the results come naturally and organically, like ripe fruit in its due time. Patience is a form of active non-resistance. It's saying, I trust that what is meant to be will be. It's not passively waiting, but acting in an inspired way while life orchestrates its magical symphony. Non-resistance also applies to our relationship with failure. We have been trained to fear failure, to see it as the end of the road, as proof of our lack of ability. But in the law of least effort, failure doesn't exist. There is only feedback. A failure is simply information, a detour that shows us that the path we took wasn't the most fluid. Instead of feeling shame, frustration, or guilt, we can simply observe the result, learn from it, and adjust our sails for the next attempt. This mindset releases an immense amount of energy that would otherwise be spent on self-criticism and regret. This way of seeing failure allows us to be more daring, more creative, and less paralyzed by fear. When you know that every outcome, even the ones you didn't expect, is guiding you, you stop being so attached to the result and fall in love with the process. You fall in love with the experience of living, of learning, and of growing. It's not that you don't care about the result, but that your inner peace doesn't depend on it. And, paradoxically, when you align with the process and let go of the need to control the outcome, the results you desire often appear with astonishing ease. It's least effort in action, once again, because you stop fighting for a destination and allow the destination to find you. The law of least effort teaches us that true power lies in our ability to let go, to surrender to the present moment. Often, the greatest effort we make is not to achieve something, but to maintain an image, to be someone we think we should be. We try to be perfect, to be invulnerable, to be what others expect. This facade is one of the greatest resistances that exists, and it consumes our vital energy. Least effort is the act of being authentic, of allowing yourself to be vulnerable, of taking off the mask. When you allow yourself to be genuine, connections with others become deeper and less forced. Creativity flows without the pressure of perfection, and the path to your goals becomes a reflection of who you really are, not a struggle to become someone else. The act of surrendering to your own truth is the most powerful way to apply least effort, because you stop fighting against yourself and join the current of your own essence. Similarly, least effort is revealed in the practice of forgiveness. Resentment and anger are like carrying an enormous weight that exhausts you. They are forms of resistance that anchor you to the past and prevent you from moving forward. Forgiving doesn't mean you have to justify an action or a person. It means you choose to let go of the emotional burden for your own benefit. It is the greatest act of self-love that exists because you free up your energy for the present and for the future. Forgiveness is an act of wisdom. You realize that the effort to hold on to anger is much greater than the effort to let it go. It's not about forgetting, but about remembering without pain. It's allowing peace to occupy the space that was once inhabited by bitterness. By forgiving, you not only free the other person, but you free yourself, and in that liberation, the path of least effort becomes much lighter and clearer. One of the greatest sources of resistance is our mind and its attachment to how things should be. We have a detailed plan in our heads. I must get this job, then get married at this age, have this house, and then I'll be happy. And when life presents us with a detour, a different path, we cling tooth and nail to our original plan, generating immense friction and suffering. Non-resistance is the humility to recognize that perhaps the universe's plan for you is much grander than the small plan your ego has designed. It's about trusting the detours. It's about understanding that sometimes a no is a protection, and a closed door is a guide to a much bigger and better door. The philosopher Alan Watts spoke of the principle of reverse action. Sometimes the more you try to get something, the more it slips away. Have you ever tried to force yourself to fall asleep? The harder you try, the more awake you are. Sleep comes when you stop trying, when you surrender. Have you ever tried to force someone to love you? It's the surest way to drive them away. Love flourishes in freedom, not in control. Happiness is the same. If you desperately chase it, it becomes an unattainable shadow. But when you stop chasing it and focus on living in a state of acceptance and gratitude in the present, happiness comes and sits silently by your side. Part of non-resistance also involves accepting the parts of ourselves that make us uncomfortable, our shadow. We all have a dark side: envy, fear, anger, laziness. Fighting against these parts, repressing them, denying them, is a form of internal resistance that consumes a brutal amount of energy. It's like trying to keep a beach ball submerged underwater. Sooner or later, it will shoot up with unpredictable force. Non-resistance is having the courage to look at that shadow, to recognize it without judgment, to understand what message it brings you. Your anger may be showing you a boundary that has been crossed. Your fear may be pointing out something you value deeply. Your laziness may be a cry from your body and soul asking for rest. Embracing your shadow is not becoming it, it's integrating it. It's stopping the fight against yourself, creating an internal peace that translates into least effort in the external world. If you are ready to make your shadow conscious and stop fighting with yourself, write in the comments, "I embrace my darkness." I want you to visualize yourself now as a great oak tree in the middle of a storm. A violent storm approaches with hurricane-force winds. A rigid structure, like a concrete wall, could crack and collapse in the face of such force. But the oak survives. Why? Because it doesn't resist rigidly. It bends, it sways, it allows the wind to pass through its branches. Its leaves may fall, a branch may break, but its core, its trunk firmly anchored to the earth, remains. Its flexibility is its strength. That is non-resistance. It's being flexible in the storms of life, knowing that you are firmly rooted in your being, in your essence. You will not break. The application of this law is an art, not an exact science. It is a daily practice. Start with the small things. The next time you find yourself in a traffic jam, observe your impulse to get frustrated and resist. Instead, breathe. Accept, I am in a traffic jam. Take responsibility for your state. I can choose peace or frustration. I choose peace. And practice non-resistance. I'll get there when I get there. I'll use this time to listen to music, to breathe, to be present. You will see how the energetic burden of the situation changes completely. The same applies to difficult conversations, to projects that don't go as you expected, to plans that get canceled. In every moment of friction, you have a choice: to effort and fight, or to accept, assume your power to respond, and flow. The path of least effort is not the easy path, in the sense that it requires immense awareness and internal discipline to unlearn a lifetime of glorifying struggle. But it is the path of grace, lightness, peace, and, paradoxically, maximum effectiveness. Because when you stop wasting your energy fighting against the current, you have all that energy available to create, to love, to live, and to direct it toward inspired actions that build the life of your dreams with an ease you never thought possible. We have traveled together through the dense fog of confusion surrounding the law of least effort. We have dismantled the myth that it is synonymous with laziness to discover its true essence, that of intelligent, aligned, and graceful action. We saw that the secret is not in pushing harder, but in finding the current of life and flowing with it. Let's recap the 3 pillars that support this bridge to a more fulfilling and less exhausting life. First, radical acceptance of the now, not as bitter resignation, but as the lucid and powerful starting point for any transformation. Second, total responsibility for your internal energy, the act of reclaiming your power and stopping yourself from giving it away to external circumstances. And third, non-resistance, the sublime art of letting go of control, trusting the process, and dancing with life instead of fighting it, being flexible like the oak and persistent like the river. The power of stopping the fight is, ironically, the greatest power you have. It is the permission you give yourself to collaborate with the universe, to be a partner in the creation of your reality. It is the end of war and the beginning of peace. And from that peace, everything blooms effortlessly. You no longer have to force doors. You simply walk toward the ones that are already open for you. Least effort is the natural result of maximum inner alignment. I want to leave you with a quote from the great Taoist master Lao Tzu, which perfectly encapsulates everything we have shared today. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. May this phrase resonate within you every time you feel the temptation to return to the struggle. Remember the flower, remember the river, remember the oak. Remember that the same wisdom resides in you. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me your time, your attention, and your sacred energy. It has been a true honor to share this space and this moment with you. Your presence here is not a coincidence. If this message resonated with your soul and you want to continue to delve deeper into these teachings to transform your life, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and activate the little bell so you don't miss a single one of our journeys together. By doing so, you not only help yourself, but you help us get this message of peace and power to more souls who need it. And don't stop there. Join our community in the comments. Share your biggest revelation from today. Read the experiences of others. We are mirrors for each other, and together we create an energy of healing and growth that is much more powerful. Get ready, because our journey has just begun. In our next meeting, we will explore a topic that is the perfect complement to what we saw today: the art of divine patience, how to trust the universe's timing. It will be a guide to understanding why things don't always happen when we want them to, and how to find peace in waiting. Until then, practice flowing, let go of the oars, and watch the magic happen. See you next time.